Tonight, our speaker is a charter member, club sponsor, and club officer of Online Presenters, as well as a region advisor. With her speech titled "The Future of Toastmasters Online Clubs," she will inspire us to be the ambassadors for the development and structure of online clubs. Our behavior and decisions affect the future of all online clubs. Please join me in welcoming distinguished Toastmaster Carol Prahinski.
Thank you, Phyllis. Pleasure to be on. Paul, for some reason, I'm not coming up on speaker view. Is that happening for you?
I don't see you.
You're coming up on speaker view for me, so
okay.
I suspect you are for everybody else.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, tonight I would like to talk to you about a situation. When I attended the April Spring Conference at District 62, Michigan, one gentleman stood up and he spoke specifically to the district leaders, and he said, quote, "I think you should be extremely concerned with the online clubs. They will take away from the performance of our district." Well, do you agree? For me, I paused. I don't agree, but I paused anyway. Why? Because there are some considerations. It's not clear. It's not a solid pro and no cons. There are cons to online clubs, and there can be a significant effect to the district. It can be, but it's not there at this point. But if we continue to grow, will we? Will we be an effect to the regular brick and mortar clubs in our districts? So let's talk about what makes an online club so powerful and attractive to us. Now, I realize I am preaching to a group of people who are already adamantly engaged in online clubs. We love them. That's why we're here on our evenings or our mornings or whatever time of day it is. We love it. So we sign up for this because we like the flexibility of location. We have the worldwide connections. We improve our geography. Where is it? Jakarta, everybody? You know now? Yes. All right, we know. And we just grow by leaps and bounds with the advancement of our skill set as it relates to technology. I stay on sometimes late into the night learning more about something that was mentioned in our club, because I find it absolutely powerful to come in with an advanced skill in the next meeting. This technology allows us to be more powerful in the business world. It allows us to connect with people across the world. And if we try to do today's job with yesterday's tools, we will be out of business tomorrow. We have to have technology. And it is a tool and a platform for us to be successful in our future. Now let's talk about some of those cons. Now, right now, the growth of districts in North America is, well, stagnant. We have some ups, we have some downs, but in general, it hasn't been super strong. Now, across the world, that's a whole nother ballpark. We have had significant growth if we look at the Europe and Africa quadrants. If we look at Asia, we have growing by leaps and bounds. Our our international growth is quite prominent. In addition, we have this special little tiny group called online clubs, and our growth is also phenomenal. We are growing. People are interested. They want to learn more. Our online clubs aren't perfect. And it is a challenge sometimes to have the connections with each other. This is why many of us get on a half hour early, so that we can connect with each other, so that we can have, I'm going to call it the hugs and handshakes that we can normally get in a brick and mortar club. This is our version of it. Well, that's great, but we don't have hugs and handshakes. And there are times that we may not feel very connected with each other. We're here, we're chatting, we're listening, we enjoy and laugh with the humor that is brought forward, but it's different. We don't have such strong connections later after the club meeting is over. We might slack off on submitting the evaluation form to that speaker in the next day or two. We need to get that form back, and yet nobody seems to remind us, hey, did you get the form back to the speaker for that evaluation you just gave? What about the greeting of our new members and guests? Do we follow up effectively? I'm an officer, and I can't tell you if that is happening or not. The online clubs have the capability of being powerful, but it also has the capability of not being on par, and many of us coming on a regular basis may not even be aware that there are things not happening behind the scenes. That's a big drawback, and it means that sometimes online club leadership struggles significantly to fill the gaps in the holes that are exposed by our attendance and follow-through. Are we being effective? And so that goes at the heart of what I think we as an advanced club really need to focus on. But I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. All right. When online clubs were approved in February 2016, most of us were either interested or emphatically excited that we were going to have online clubs and we could sign up for it. Yes. Now, as we progress through the Toastmaster realm of online clubs, we are watching, we have 11 chartered clubs. Some of them are community, some of them are corporate, some of them are advanced. We have many prospective clubs coming on board, online clubs. This is very exciting. And we even have discussion about what it would look like to have a district of online clubs. Well, here's the news. Online clubs are undistricted. According to Protocol 2.0, Club and Membership Eligibility 4.0D, according to the Toastmasters governing policies, online clubs are undistricted, period. There's no potential, there's no comment here to say we can become territorial and that we're going to continue to grow and become our own governing body. We are simply undistricted clubs, and for now, that's the way it's staying. What does it take to change? Well, we can push, we can ask, we can prod the international directors, but it really requires the international directors to make the change. Let's talk about what that means. When we started the Revitalized Education Program, some of you may remember this. They didn't ask a club or two, hey, can you give us feedback? They went after specific individuals in a randomized fashion and said, would you become learning masters? And some of the clubs they went after were struggling clubs. Some of them didn't make sense. They had never been district officers. They didn't understand some of the ins and outs, but it didn't matter. What they cared about was that it was a member. And that's it. Members have a voice. It isn't online alliances. It isn't necessarily the club. It's the member. So when we were looking at the future, recognize that we have ideally some voice. We're going to put together our best plans. We're going to try to fill the holes and the gaps that we see in our online club. We're going to try to develop structure and protocol for our clubs to make sure that we're following through effectively, that we're meeting the needs of our members. But as we grow in the number of clubs, as we grow in our strength as an online forum, we may not be able to change things in the way that we want to. This is up to Toastmasters International World Headquarters and up to our board of directors to make the changes that will be instrumental to the future of online clubs. To be effective, though, we do have a voice in how our club is run. And to be an effective online club, I want to make sure that we're ready and prepared. So this is where we have the capability to be strong. Make our club the role model for all of the other clubs. Create the guidance and guidelines to enable us to be successful in this future called online presentations. We have our jobs, we know what they are, and we need to follow through to be effective. As we look into the future, I want us to be able to go back to that individual in District 62 at that spring conference and say, online clubs are the future growth opportunity in North America and around the world for club members and non-club members that can't find a club to go to. This is a huge growth opportunity that Toastmasters International needs for our future. Are you ready? I am, and I think we have something to offer that allows us to be meeting the business needs and the future today and tomorrow.
Thank you, Carol. Beautiful. Thank you for bringing all of this to the front. And boy, do we have a lot of room for growth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our next speaker today is going to be Mahi Dixie, and her evaluator is Paul Finkelstein. Paul, would you please tell us what you're looking for?
Sure. Today,